Hello everyone, welcome back to our Battle Factory TCG stream. We have combed through nearly 1,000 masters and we are down to the final two. Ryan Sabelhaus taking on Alex Schemanske in the Buzzwole Lycanroc mirror match.
Yep, this is actually the tale of the two younger and shorter brothers in their families. I have checked, it's okay for me to point that out. Obviously Ryan, the younger brother of Kyle, and Alex, the younger brother of Chris. Both of them well known as their by their surname or second name.
Right.
Basically, they're always playing together, they always do well together, but in this case, they are the ones representing their family, defending the honor of their mothers all the way in the final.
Two pairs of competitive brothers that constantly are putting up great finishes at these regionals, the Schemanskes and the Sabelhauses, and it's just really exciting to see that they're going to have another little family face-off here and see which brotherhood comes out on top. And again, this Buzzwole Lycanroc mirror match. We saw Buzzwole Lycanroc mirror in the previous match where Ryan Sabelhaus took down Igor Costa. That was a 60-card mirror match. Here, Alex's list is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's not going to be the full 60 cards. It's kind of those. I mean, the core of it is the same.
It is
the Buzzwoles, the Lycanroc, those counts remain the same. Then you've got these interesting additions. The Mew that obviously we saw Ryan and Igor running. And then on Alex's side, we've got some new things. The Oricorio that not everyone's been picking up on.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting to see if that actually comes to the fore in this one, or if it'll be a pure race to set up your board, Bloodthirsty Eyes the weak things, and knock everything out.
Right, yeah, this mirror match oftentimes just comes down to getting Rockruffs down, getting energies on them, and being able to use Bloodthirsty Eyes and kill your opponents, knock out those Rockruffs on their bench, so that they can't do the same thing to you. And then you have access to Dangerous Rogue, and your opponent does not. So we're going to see a lot of these Rockruffs try to get down on the board, and when Buzzwole comes active, that's when they're going to take a pivot. Ryan is playing two of the Fates Collide Mews. He's going to be using those to fight the Buzzwoles. And on the Alex's side, of course, the Oricorio for a Choice Band does 120 damage to a Buzzwole when there is a Stadium in play, and of course also just straight up knocks out the Mew.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't want to be using these little tech cards to deal with the other tech cards. You want to be using them to deal with the big cards.
Right.
So yes, they could trade very nicely. Mews you'd be taken out by Oricorios or vice versa. But at the same time, I think they need to be getting more value out of them.
Yeah, and just a couple other small nuances in the lists here. Connor and I were talking earlier about 10 energies in Buzzwole Lycanroc versus the 9. Ryan playing the 10 version, a little bit newer, a little bit more consistent on hitting max elixirs and getting energy down on Rockruff earlier on into the game if they like to do that. So we'll see if that comes into play here as the match has started. We will transition in. It looks like Alex here on the right has won the coin flip and will go first with his Ultra Ball discarding Fighting Energy, and I think that is, what card is that? Looks like maybe another Buzzwole?
Yeah, there could be another Buzzwole. Probably going to be looking for a way to get it out pretty promptly as well. It's got that kind of radiance that comes with it, but the Tapu Lily, more important in this instance.
Right, yeah, going and get that turn 1 supporter. Buzzwole Lycanroc, not a Bridget deck, so going to either be Cynthia or N. Looks like it's going to be the N, with players will shuffle and draw 6. And yeah, without Bridget, there's no Bridget here in the finals. There's no Zoroark in the finals. It's really impressive to see that all these Buzzwole Lycanroc decks, they put down the Zoroark decks with that hitting for weakness.
Yeah, that's been a big kind of thing coming over this weekend, was everyone was expecting another wild Zoroark. We see Ryan showing off his hand to Alex before he shuffles it in with the N here. Definitely saying, I had some pretty useful cards in there.
Yeah, well, he had the double Max Elixir and then Sycamore, so he could play all those energies down onto his Buzzwole, and then Sycamore, pretty much no cards and discard, just draw a fresh set of 7. If we look, though, those elixirs might not have had a great chance at hitting. Ryan has prized 3 Fighting Energy as well as a Strong Energy. Definitely going to be relevant here once we get into the later stages of the game when Ryan is reaching for those final knockouts through Max Elixir.
Yeah, I mean, prizing 3, maybe a little bit more affordable, especially knowing, of course, that he does have the extra 1. We do go over to Alex's prizes while we're on the subject. He's only prized 1, but he's also prized a Max Elixir. So the energy acceleration pretty much even across the board.
I would say it might be a little bit favored towards Alex, but just pretty much even across the board here as he's going to put down his Brooklet Hill. Alex will activates it and goes and gets the Remoraid, favoring the Remoraid over Rockruff here on this first turn. Puts down the energy on Oricorio, retreats with the Floatstone, and passes. This is threatening a knockout on the Mew with that Oricorio's second attack. Hits for weakness if there's a Stadium in play, does 60 damage in total.
Yep, that's pretty much what he wanted to get going in this one. And I think as well, if he gets the Buzzwole on the bench, he's got the option to start Max Elixir until he start charging them up with a little more time in play. The Oricorio actually isn't threatened by the Mew, it's weak to the dark, so it is able to try and deal with that, but it does only have the 90 hit points, so it is almost easier to get there.
Yeah, Alex going ahead and doing that retreat with the Float Stone, playing around a Field Blower if it were to come out of Ryan. Of course, we know here looking at the list that there is no Field Blower in his deck. Neither player actually playing any copies of Field Blower tends to not really be seen in this Buzzwole Lycanroc deck.
There's no need for it. You have many Brooklet Hill, both trainers playing 3, and then you know, yes, late game, once one of you's got it out, the other person has 3 dead cards in deck, the other person has 2, but you're able to just use them for Ultra Balls, you're able to, you know, really just let them go with Sycamores and things. So it's not such a bad deal.
We're going to see Ryan here activates Alex's Brooklet Hill, going to start looking through his cards. Looks to be also favoring the Remoraid. Definitely also important to get the Octillery into play because this Buzzwole Lycanroc deck can get off to a really fast start and start to take a bunch of prizes, and then in the late game can have an end played against it and just doesn't really draw anything. We saw in Ryan's match against Igor in top 4, he was able to end Igor down to 1 card, and Igor didn't have Octillery in play, so didn't really have any outs to respond to that end.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan's pretty much going to try and match Alex's setup with the exception of using the Tapu Lele. Just trying to get an Octillery out as soon as possible. He does have a Rockruff in hand, so he could start kind of veering off the path here and get ready for the Dangerous Rogue in the near future.
Now let's see here. Max looks like the 6th card does hit the basic energy. He's going to be able to accelerate either to the Rockruff or the Buzzwole GX. I guess technically Remoraid's also a valid target, but certainly does not want to do that.
I mean, if he magically teched in 2 waters, he could maybe evolve and hug. For 40 and no retreat. It's a glorified corner. But,
yeah, certainly not what is going to be in Ryan's game plan. He does put it down on the Rockruff, prepares for a Dangerous Rogue at some point in the near future. And it's important to see here that while Ryan was able to match Alex's Remoraid, he's got the Rockruff down. Alex does not.
Yeah, well, and as well, he's got another Max Elixir in hand. He's got the strong energy that he's about to attach to his Buzzwole. So he's just going to be able to essentially set up 2 Pokemon right here to get very close to done. The Mew looks like it's going to be getting out of that active slot before the Max Elixir as well. So any Max Elixir play will be heading towards that Rockruff.
Right, well, it could also go to the Mew if he wants to go ahead and prepare that, and it is actually what he decides to do, saying, hey, this Mew now can copy Jet Punch whenever I need it to, and this Jet Punch coming from the active Buzzwole will, after the strong energy, go back down to the 30 damage, because as you can see on the right side of your screen, Oricorio does resist fighting, so that Jet Punch will do 30 to the active Oricorio, and then 30 to a bench Pokemon, and it's probably going to end up being the Remoraid.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you want to soften up. If you can't get the Octillery out, then another Jet Punch in the following turn, which you're pretty much guaranteed to get, is going to be able to take it out. That forces Alex's hand a little bit in how he plays the turn. He does have to then, you know, make sure he searches for the Octillery. He does have a really nice way to do it here, though. So just having a peep, he did pull the Ultra Ball and the Sycamore. He's got a Brooklet Hill, which is easy money for the discard. So that's an option. Still, though, just the Jet Punches in this one.
Yeah, there is the 30-30 that we had predicted. Alex going to go straight into that Ultra Ball. Discards Regirock and that Brooklet Hill that you said.
Yeah.
Going to go through here, finds that one of his Octilleries. They playing a 2-2 line, so even though he had prized one, has the second one in his deck, protects that Remoraid from getting knocked out by another Jet Punch. And now he can start drawing some cards with the Abyssal Hand.
Yeah, he's got an energy to play as well, so he will at least be able to draw 2, if not more, of this one. There's a Max Elixir there as well, so no reason not to play it. This could be a really big Abyssal Hand. He does find the energy off there.
Going to go to Buzzwole without the Float Stone, saying I might need to put a Choice Band on this in order to reach Knockout on a fresh Buzzwole or Lycanroc GX.
Yep, that's the way he's going to be powering up. Just going to keep going. Actually spreading them. Toying was the idea. Brooklet Hill first.
Yeah, go ahead and do something that has a little bit of unknown involved. Just go through the deck there, and Sudowoodo comes down. Another very key card in this mirror matchup. That Watch and Learn can be used to copy either Knuckle Impact or Dangerous Rogue GX and return a really big knockout for not a lot of investment. Came into play in the top 4 match again, where we saw Ryan use Watch and Learn against Igor. And we'll see if Alex will be using that in the near future.
Yep, I mean, the big thing here, though, Alex has actually been able to set up so much in this turn. I know it's obviously only his second turn, but that's actually a lot to get in play. Softening up the Buzzwole there as well with a little second attack. The Stadium in play gets to do 30.
Yep. It's going to do 60 in total, and we'll go back on over to Ryan. He's going to start flicking through his cards here and deciding what course of action. Another Jet Punch, another 30. We'll do another 30 to the Oricorio on the active, and maybe he could set up 30 more onto that Octillery and threaten just a triple Jet Punch and knock it out anyway.
Yep.
I could also maybe find some more energy cards and go with the Dangerous Rogue, but Alex has spread his energies in such a way that there's no one prime target right now on his board to receive that Dangerous Rogue attack.
Yep, Brooklyn Hill gonna grab something extra, maybe a Buzzwole finally, or a second Buzzwole for Ryan. You know, he doesn't have one on the bench ready to go. Or it looks like he's going all in on these Rockruffs, so making sure the Lycanroc plays are available as soon as possible.
Right, yeah. Ryan prioritizing the Rockruffs, whereas Alex's side, still no Rockruffs on the board. His only out to using Dangerous Rogue is actually currently through using Watch and Learn from that Sudowoodo, which certainly is a valid option, and it would do, right now, 200 damage, considering Ryan has the 4 bench. So Alex still in a fine position as far as the Dangerous Rogue game goes. We'll see if Ryan can... He's got the strong energy in his hand. Let's see if he can get access to some more energies and start applying some pressure here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think what Ryan's trying to do right now, particularly with the strong energy on the active, is just try and get a lot of Jet Punch knockouts, clear off that board, and, you know, limit Alex to just 1 or 2 big charged up Buzzwoles, and then you'll be able to kind of just pick those off with something like the Dangerous Rogue.
Right.
He is definitely a little bit concerned, I'd say, about the Sudowoodo and the potential to just bring it in and watch and learn. So it looks like he's going to start prioritizing that one.
Yeah, he's going to pull it up to the active position with the Guzma and play the Ultra Ball. And he's got some options here. He looks like he might grab another Buzzwole. He can't really knock out this Sudowoodo right now. 90 damage is not something that his current board is going to reach. It makes me wonder if he's going to actually use Corner. If he corners the Sudowoodo, it cannot retreat. And using Watch and Learn, I mean, all that does is just corner the Mew or the Rockruff if he were to retreat right back.
Yeah, he also has the option, obviously, Guzman to get that Mew in the active, does have the free retreat. Could bring it into the Buzzwole with the strong energy and start swinging for more damage on it, get it on the 50. And then if you could use the same Buzzwole, which looks relatively safe in the following turn, you'd be able to pick up Sudowoodo and then maybe the Octillery if that's what you went in on.
Yeah, it's going to continue spreading the energies around. Both players not committing too many energies. He'll do strong energy to that Rockruff he just benched, and yeah, he's going to retreat. This will be Jet Punch, 50 damage to that Sudowoodo, another 30 to the Octillery. Watch and Learn, not particularly powerful when it's copying a Jet Punch.
No, especially without the strong energy as well. You're back down to the 30 and the 30. That said, though, there could be an option here for Alex to try and get something in play there. I think what he's actually going to try and do, if you're Ryan, is remove the Watch and Learn and the Abyssal Hand from play, just with Jet Punches, before he gets caught short going big with Dangerous Rogues.
Right, and then he can start committing a lot more energies to the same Pokemon and start going for these bigger knockouts. Once he establishes a lead in the prize trade, Alex looks to be potentially conceding this Sudowoodo to Ryan, energy switching the energy off of it. Alex does play 4 Float Stones.
Oh, looks like he has the Guzma, but he's not going to play it this time.
Gonna go with the M. He does play the 4 Float Stones. Well, there is one on the board, but there's a decent chance that he'll be able to draw one and can just retreat that Sudowoodo and save it for a little bit later. And if he draws another energy, because he has not attached yet, he can go with the Knuckle Impact and go ahead and knock out this Buzzwole.
I mean, energy and Float Stone, and Alex is in a really commanding position. We do see the strong energy.
3, 4, 5, Max Elixir. Final card is Fighting Energy.
Not what he needed there. So maybe let the Sudowoodo go, promote something after the next turn, and then just go for a really, really big play.
Yeah, well, he can play a decent number of cards in his hand currently, and he has access to Abyssal Hand still, so maybe he can still find that Float Stone as he does hit this Max Elixir, goes to the other Buzzwole GX, spreading the energies around just a little bit more, now has to consider what is going to receive the manual attachment of that strong energy in his hand.
Yep, we do see the choice band going down onto the potentially Oricorio, though. It is committed there. Getting both the Buzzwoles ready to go. Abyssal Hand for 1 and 2.
It looks like energy switch and another energy, so not going to be Float Stone. It's going to have to pass on over to Ryan here. Ryan with a bunch of 1 energy Pokemon now on the initiative, puts another energy down on a fresh Pokemon, has 5 different Pokemon with an energy, just really saying, you know what, I don't want to commit too much to one Pokemon, I don't want it to get Guzma'd up and knocked out for big damage, and I lose a bunch of ground here. Also opting to attach his Choice Band to his Psychic Attacker, preparing for knocking out some Buzzwoles in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he's attached the Choice Band to both of his big attackers. He does Abyssal Hand for the 1. Not as impactful as Alex's, but now he gets to start finding new things. The double Brooklet, fantastic use for the Ultra Ball there, of course. He's not going to be able to get them into play because Alex put one down on turn 1. So that's actually essentially a free Ultra Ball.
Yeah, this Ultra Ball does two things. Of course, it gets to search him out a Pokemon from his deck, but it also removes those Brooklet Hills so that he doesn't draw them later from late game ends, or even if he were to play any other draw supporter himself. They're no longer floating around in the deck or his hand. They will be in the discard pile and won't be clogging up any late game draws he might be having.
Yeah, and there it is. He skittles out the Sudowoodo and the Octillery here.
So he's going to go down to the 4 prizes, going to pull 2 there, and now it goes over to Alex with another energy card. Can knock out this Buzzwole with the Knuckle Impact. Now finally has a Rockruff on the board and can Brooklet Hill for another Remoraid because he needs to establish another Octillery.
Yeah, but the Octillery he needs is actually in his prizes.
It's true.
The 2/2 line doesn't really work so much. When you can't get one of them, you're back down to essentially a 2/1 line.
Yep.
Filling up his bench, though, he does give him more power to Dangerous Rogue as well. Not that it was going to likely fall short, but now it's definitely going to fall short.
It's certainly going to be enough damage. Alex does play 1 copy of Super Rod, so could try to recover the Octillery that way in future turns. We'll see if he's able to put together the cards to get a knockout here and maybe try to slow down Alex. Well, really, Ryan hasn't even had a fantastically fast start. It's just been a solid spread my energies around and apply enough pressure to take a couple prizes here and there.
Yep, looks like we're going to keep seeing some, I'd say, relatively simple plays. The Mew, which actually received on the energies in the last turn, being summoned into the active. The Buzzwole just jet punching with the strong energy. It's enough. Mew, pretty lightweight, only 50 hit points.
Yeah, just the strong energy is all that was actually necessary to boost enough damage to knock out that Mew. Now Ryan does not have a Psychic Attacker available to respond to this Buzzwole. Only has 1 energy on each of his Pokemon, so doesn't really have a good way of knocking this out other than evolving into Lycanroc GX and attaching energy to go with that Dangerous Rogue. But then Alex can just respond on his own with his own Dangerous Rogue because he's got a Rockruff on the board now.
Yeah, he's got the Rockruff ready. He does only have 2 cards in hand, though. And without the Octillery, he's going to be struggling for that Abyssal
Yeah, there's
hand.
actually 2 not great cards either. It is Energy Max Elixir, so it will allow him to pull off a Knuckle Impact or Absorption GX if he does want to go that route. But nothing else really happening in that hand right now, so we'll have to keep an eye on what card Alex draws at the start of his turn because he might start to stall out a little bit.
Yeah, this could be that ill-fated mid-game for the Buzzwole where you've used away Max Elixirs, you've attached pretty consistently, but then you just fall a little bit short. Ryan is having a peep around with the Brooklet Hill. Just decides to go for, oh no, not the Brooklet Hill, my apologies.
Yeah, that is the Brooklet Hill. He mistakenly pulls the Mew.
I was like, you can't get Mew with Brooklet Hill, Ryan. That's
yeah.
not a fighting or a water type.
Sudowoodo, still a decent Pokemon to have onto the board in case the Dangerous Rogue or Knuckle Impact ever comes through. It's a great way to answer that, and it looks like Ryan is gearing up for that Dangerous Rogue as he attaches the 2nd energy to the active Rockruff.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help out here. Just kind of getting those Rockruffs ready to go, making sure as soon as you find the Lycanroc, yeah, you can use it for the Dangerous Rogue.
Right, so that's all that Ryan needs to find here is the Rockruff, or the Lycanroc GX rather. I don't know if it's in his hand right now, and he might have to try to thin out some cards to see if he can draw an out to Lycanroc GX through the Abyssal Hand ability. Going to consider playing a Max Elixir here. Hitting this would certainly be useful. He could put an energy on that Sudowoodo. Wonder if that is what he wants to do here. Certainly what he wants to see is a Lycanroc because that Rockruff stuck in the active without using Dangerous Rogue. Certainly not great. He's going to go ahead and just concede. I'm not going to get this Lycanroc this turn. I can't play enough cards comfortably. I'm just going to go ahead, retreat, and it will be a Jet Punch for 50 damage.
Yeah, the Jet Punch will be really, really nice here. 50 onto the Buzzwole, and then he can start maybe even trying to pick off this Remoraid. I know it sounds like it's not a threat, but it looks like it's going to be a threat, and it's just another prize for him to be able to take.
Yeah, any sort of short, small prizes that he can grab here is certainly going to be useful because neither player going for any large attacks yet. It's only ever been Jet Punch, really. So as long as Alex is not committing to a huge attack, Ryan does not need to respond with a huge attack of his own.
Yeah, we are going to see the Choice Band tease there on the Buzzwole. Ryan wondering if he needs to start amping up the damage on the Buzzwole GX. is what he's going for, and he's going to keep on going onto that Oricorio, something that he needs to get rid of, and he can only really deal with it when it's on the bench.
Yeah, and the resistance applied when it is active, so it's really hard to knock it out with just Jet Punch. You're going to need to use some other attack, or at this point, now that it only has the 30 HP left, a strong energy is enough to get that knockout. We're going to see the Revelation Dance from Oricorio does 120 damage for just one energy, and really
it's
hurting out the Buzzwole that Ryan had in the act.
Yeah, I mean, being able to Revelation Dance is really, really nice there. Obviously, the stadium's in play, you've got the Choice Band. For a single energy, you've just done huge damage to one of the format's biggest attackers, as we see quite clearly with two of them in finals here.
Ryan considering the final decision for his promotion. Looks like it's going to be Rockruff. Draws this card for the turn. The next card, of course, Lycanroc GX, the card he wanted to see in the previous turn, now in his hand. But I mean, I guess you could still play it, pull up something with that Bloodthirsty Eyes ability, and then go with the Dangerous Rogue. That Oricorio not nearly as threatening when he's not attacking with Buzzwole.
I think what he has to do here, and he's kind of got a choice. When you're going for that Bloodthirsty Eyes, then you've got the choice on what you pull up. Now, the Buzzwoles both look pretty tempting. One of them's already softened up, though, so if you're using your GX attack, get rid of the one that's at full health, and then just keep wearing down on the other one. Play some Guzmas. Maybe if you have to Jet Punch, you could find those other two prizes just off Oricorio and Remoraid as well. So I think Lycanroc on this turn, take the big one, then even if it goes into the active, there comes a point where it has to be switched out, and Jet Punch could just win the game for Ryan with all of those 30s going to the bench.
Yeah, this turn really good for Ryan because it's going to set him down to 2 prizes, so he can either go through the Remoraid and the Oricorio with Jet Punch, or can just pull up the weakened Buzzwole and use that Mew hit for weakness, pick up the knockout rather cleanly that way. Gonna play Cynthia and draw some fresh cards here. It's already basically established what he's doing this turn, so this is just to give him some more options for the following turn.
Yep, and this is a pretty easy decision, I think. It's just to make sure your hand is nice and full, make sure you're ready, and everything he needs is pretty much ready there on the board, with the exception of the energy attachments on Sudowoodo and Mew. They're not quite ready to attack yet, but at the same time, he's already got a Buzzwole over on the side that's still able to start Jet Punching. It's not the worst position for him at all.
No, yeah, certainly not. I would favor Ryan's position here because he's going to be ahead in the prize trade. Being at 2 prizes while your opponent is at 3 prizes means you only need 1 more knockout while your opponent needs at least 2. Gets the Choice Band also for the Mew, so now all it would need is an Energy and a Guzma. He would be able to knock out that Buzzwole for his final 2 prizes. So Dangerous Rogue comes through, 250 damage to that Buzzwole GX. Ryan now down to his final 2 prizes.
Yep, that's all he needed in this instance, just enough to make sure he got there. And that's the perfect time to use it, when your opponent's bench is nice and full in the middle of the game. It's now an interesting position, I think, for Alex. He wants to start attacking. He's just got to watch out for Jet Punches, though.
Yeah, and there's too many threats on Ryan's board. Alex kind of wants to get rid of the Rockruff so that a second Bloodthirsty Eyes doesn't come through. He wants to get rid of that Octillery so that there's no more draw power coming from Ryan, so that maybe if Alex were to play an N, it could stick a little bit. Also just wants to knock out that Mew because it's threatening the KO on his current benched Buzzwole with 80 damage on it. So Alex wants to knock out way more Pokemon than he's able to at this point. The Cynthia for 6 does give him access to the Bloodthirsty Eyes, chooses not to use it. He's going to just retreat with the Remoraid and go with his own Dangerous Rogue, which will put him at 1 prize card remaining. Not before super riding a couple energies into the deck, as well as that 1 Octillery that is available to him currently, seeing as the other is still in the prizes.
Yeah, but the big thing here is, Mew or Guzma and an energy for Mew would get you there. There's actually a large number of outs and no N on that turn for Ryan, or from Alex onto Ryan. Kind of keeping him in check there. We are going to see, stuff like, the Octillery did make it back with the Super Rod, so that's back online for Alex, and I think that's huge.
Right, yeah, it's going to activate the Abyssal Hand, draws a couple cards there, and then retreats into Lycanroc GX. Also gets to put an energy down on the Buzzwole, so that Knuckle Impact will be able to do enough damage. Ryan has got exactly the 2 pieces that he needs. Shows, hey, I can Bloodthirsty Eyes up that Buzzwole, attach the energy to Mew, I've got the game. Ryan will go up 1 game to Alex Schemanske here, 1 game away from actually Ryan winning his 6th ever regional championship.
It looked a little dicey for Ryan there as well when he missed the Lycanroc, had to manually retreat the Rockruff, but second time of asking, he got it, and that's what he really, really needed.
Still playing to the outs that were available to him given that situation. Ideally, you draw the Lycanroc GX and you just kind of run through Alex's board. Not given that opportunity, has to make the best of the situation, and certainly does because he's still able to close that game out rather convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, his Jet Punch placement was so smart. We think about where he picked up those early 2 prizes. Well, it was just off well-played Jet Punches. He only had to knock out 2 big, beefy Pokemon. That's not that big of an ask. The third is sometimes a question, especially with these decks that sometimes come a little slow when all your Max Elixirs are prized or in the discard.
Right, and we're starting to see how this matchup really can revolve around the Psychic attackers. The 2 Mew on Ryan's side and the Oricorio on Alex's side, both very relevant in that game. Mew obviously closing the game out, but Oricorio putting on some good damage, doing 120 to Buzzwoles with a Choice Band. So I imagine this second game, we're also going to see those Psychic attackers come into play once more, either trading with each other or with the opposing Buzzwoles.
Well, the Oricorio trade's a little better because of the Dark weakness. That certainly helps, and I think that's going to be absolutely huge.
And of course, it just has more HP. Mew gets knocked out from just a Strong Energy and a Jet Punch. Oricorio only receives 30 damage from that. That Oricorio from Alex's side actually took 2 Jet Punches and was still on the board and was still able to put damage out. Whereas Ryan's Mew in that situation would just got knocked out immediately.
Yeah, it's actually better for Ryan to have the Oricorio on the bench because at least he gets the full 30 on it without a Strong Energy.
Right. So Alex is going to mulligan here. Ryan will get an extra card at the beginning of game 2. Looks through his hand, and it looks like that's a Rockruff start for Ryan as he goes to play down his prizes. Prizes, another set of fighting energies, certainly not the worst prizes I've ever seen. Prizing Brooklet Hill seems totally fine because, as we had saw in the previous game, they just love to discard Brooklet Hill. Once the first one hits the board, it's totally useless.
Well, he was able to discard Brooklet Hill with an Ultra Ball, and he's only going to have 2 of those in the deck right now. To be fair, those are really nice prizes to pull out because if you pull those up, you're in a really good position.
Yeah, so Alex does start the Buzzwole. It looks like he had the Brooklet Hill in his hand as well, so we will have Brooklet Hill in play from turn 1 here. Handshake. Going into game 2, Alex draws his first card. Going to start looking through Ultra Ball, maybe for Lele because he wants to get a supporter down on his first turn.
Yeah, he's going to discard a Lycanroc and mulling over the other option, Guzma. Being put in the discard there for Alex Schemanske. Definitely needs to keep everything flowing on this turn 1. But even in the last game, we did see Alex go first. Ryan was able to just keep up. I don't think this deck struggles with keeping pace in the mirror match.
Yeah, no, certainly not. It's a very volatile mirror match in that Max Elixirs can really kind of swing it back and forth, and I apologize, it looks like that's not a Brooklet Hill, it is an energy switch that Alex is playing, and that is what is in his hand. So opening hand actually not strong at all. So going to grab the N here because none of the other cards in his hand really doing too much for him. Also will remove the extra mulligan card that Alex gave to Ryan through not having a basic, ending it back into the deck.
Yeah, that's really helpful. When you lose out, you don't start a basic. Even that 1 extra card can be so helpful for your opponent. If they've got an Ultra Ball, but 1 extra card that may be Ultra Ballable, they're able to throw it away, something that's not so important. I think actually both players may be a little hesitant with their Brooklet Hill here, especially because it's going to help both of them. It's like if you can get set up without it, maybe able to just kind of keep it around. In most cases, it will just go down immediately, though.
Right, yeah. If you can find your Rockruffs and Octilleries without playing down the Brooklet Hill, then you can set those up without giving your opponent just the free option to get their own Rockruffs and Octilleries. And Alex kind of threatening a turn 2 knockout here. We'll see if Ryan has got cards in his hand to start generating some basics because this Rockruff is getting a little threatened by that Regirock EX, applying 10 extra damage through the Buzzwole.
To be honest, it looks bleak for him. I've seen 3 energy in there, 1 Sycamore. We did draw off the turn. There's a Guzma, which is no real use right now. And it's not ideal if you're in Ryan's shoes right here.
Yeah, he's got some options. He can go ahead and try to Guzma up Regirock and try to buy some time that way with the corner and see if he can maybe draw a basic to start attaching some of these energies to. He's going to go with that corner play here. It's worth pointing out, Alex cannot play Guzma right now. There's no bench Pokemon on Ryan's side of the field, so Guzma is not a legal card to be played. There's no way that Regirock can retreat, actually, ever.
Are we going to see it? We've talked about it in hushed voices, but there is the corner play here. Just see how many cards your opponent has that are shuffle draw supporters.
Yeah.
See if there's any way around it.
Yeah, the Regirock, definitely not necessarily the best Pokemon to try to trap with Corner, because for 3 fighting energies, it does do enough damage to knock out the Rockruff. So if Alex starts to realize, oh, he's going to try to deck me out, he can just start committing some energies to the Regirock. And then it forces Ryan to start benching some Pokemon here, because as soon as Ryan does bench some Pokemon, Alex can get out of this corner lock. And you can see he basically just, Alex assuming that Ryan is going to start benching some Pokemon, because he's committing energies to his bench Buzzwole right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a pass on this one. Doesn't really get all that much better. Another fighting energy down onto this Rockruff, and the Sycamore finally played that.
Yeah, the
from
Sycamore not nearly as painful now that he got that second strong energy down. There's actually just a lot of damage modifiers onto that Rockruff. And a Lycanroc GX, I mean, Dangerous Rogue, only base 100 right now, but it would do plus 70 because of all that damage modification. If he wanted to, he could knock out the Lele. Not sure if that's necessarily what he wants to do. He can also just declare, you know what, I don't like this situation yet, I'm just going to go with another corner.
Yeah, because there's no energy on the Regirock. No damage dealt, so there it is, corner for another time. This looks like Alex is cottoned on, contemplating attaching to this Regirock.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, I got to start putting on a little pressure through saying, hey, Ryan, you can't keep cornering me forever. I'm just going to start attaching energies, and then eventually I can use, I think it's called Bedrock Press, is Regirock EX's attack, and that would knock out the lone Rockruff. So now Ryan now has another turn. He's bought himself some time with this corner. Finally, he's got some good cards in his hand to maybe develop a little bit of a board here through the Ultra Ball he is now playing.
Yeah, now he's basically waited, and the Sycamore definitely helped. But he's trying to make sure he finds a turn to really explode and just get his bench nice and full. That's going to be the play in this instance. He does have the Octillery in hand. I also believe he pulled the Remoraid off from that Sycamore, so going to be playing it smart. But before he does anything else for his bench, looks like he may be helping out his active.
He's going to Bloodthirsty Eyes the Buzzwole. If he's a 3rd strong energy, let's see here. Claw Slash doing 180 right now. If he's got Regirock EX, he would do 190 with Claw Slash. That's enough to knock out this Buzzwole GX.
Yeah, he's going to Cynthia try and find it, but it's a bit of an ask at this point.
It is. It's a little dicey. I mean, there's no Brooklet Hill on the board yet, so...
Well, I mean, it does mean he's got a couple of outs here, too.
Right. Certainly a lot of outs to find the Regirock would be a huge play from Ryan, turning this awkward start into quite a great play here. And there is the Brooklet Hill. He's going to go get that Regirock EX. Knock off this Buzzwole with 2 energies, and it leaves Alex with a really anemic board position.
Yeah, Regirock and Tapu Lele, not really your prominent attackers in this deck. Does come down another Buzzwole into play as well. Choice band on that, just making sure he's ready to go for a following turn. Keep that Remoraid safe.
Yeah, there are 2 small downsides to this play, this really incredible play that Ryan is making. The first is that he had to play Brooklet Hill, which means now Alex can use that Brooklet Hill, go get his own Buzzwole, and is immediately what he does. The second thing that this says is Ryan had to already use his GX attack with that Dangerous Rogue. And of course, Dangerous Rogue is there to be used. But now in the later stages of the game, that's not going to be an option for him. He's already used his GX attack.
Well, I believe he actually went with the Claw Slash.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
There's no switch over with the GX counter. So
that's right.
Dangerous Rogue is still eligible. And now would be a pretty good time to use that. Basically, with a full bench from Alex, even though a lot of them are smaller Pokemon, basic Pokemon, they still boost the damage of Dangerous Rogue. Every Pokemon counts in this one. You do see, Alex charging up this Buzzwole. There is the potential, if there's a Guzma in hand for Ryan, he could just stop this second Buzzwole right in its tracks.
It's going to be a pass from Schemanske here, leaving the Lele in the active position, which also gets knocked out for the Claw Slash. But Ryan says, you know what, I've got Lele, I've got Guzma. He's also got an Ultra Ball, so he's going to go get the... what's that? That is an Octillery. I couldn't remember the name of that Pokemon.
This setup is getting better and better. Those 2 turns of corner bought him so much time to find all the things he needs.
It's an incredible play from Ryan Sabelhaus so far, and you can see his pace of play starting to pick up a little bit here as he even hits his Max Elixir. Ryan can taste this victory.
Yeah, he's getting so close right now. And I believe the last card in his hand is the Guzma. So all he needs to do, promote the Octillery, or so he can float stone it back.
Right, and then draws 5 cards with this Abyssal hand.
Yep, this is the premium Abyssal hand. I rate this Abyssal hand 10 out of 10.
I rate this Abyssal hand 5 out of 5. Attaches strong energy to one of his Buzzwoles as well, preparing that for future turns. Claw Slash for another 190 damage. Ryan Sabelhaus 1GX knockout away from winning the Charlotte Regional Championships. Let's see if Alex can put anything together here and respond to this surprisingly aggressive board that Ryan has built.
I mean, yeah, he's got a Claw Slash available. They'll be doing 180. So yeah, 120, 130. Yeah, it's. Oh no, 190.
He's doing 190. It's
190. I forgot about. I was
Buzzwoles.
about to get to Regirock. Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty bonkers.
Right, and I mean, if Alex doesn't hit the cards he needs to knock out the Lycanroc GX, which doesn't look like he's going to be able to do.
Ooh,
he can
ending
just
him to 2.
Yeah, this is the end to 2 is really the only hope that he's got here, because this Lycanroc is just threatening another 190 damage, knocking out any of the 2-prize Pokemon on Alex's board, and winning Ryan the game. So plays down this end, gets Ryan set to 2 cards, but of course, Ryan has Octillery in play to protect himself from exactly this situation.
Right, he's in a pretty sound position right now to not get really, really hurt by it. I mean, in the same vein, you look at this Buzzwole. If he does manage to get through this Lycanroc, then he's going to be able to just bring up a Buzzwole and start knuckle impacting whatever he pleases.
We're going to see Schemanske energy switches and passes. Ryan Sabelhaus on the play here, can win the game this turn with a Guzma. Let's see if he can get there with the Abyssal hand. He can bench the Remoraid and draw 4 if he'd like. See if he's going to try and do it. Benches Remoraid, Abyssal hand for 4. 1, 2,
I
3.
think was that it?
4.
There
There's
it
the
is.
final card. Ryan Sabelhaus pulls it up and Claw Slashes for 190 once again. And Ryan Sabelhaus will be your Charlotte TCG Regionals champion.
3 turns, 3 knockouts on 3 GXs. That was after 2 turns of corner.
Incredible.
And yeah, pretty consistent and steady play once he got going. Once he had a hand that was kind of, he was able to play everything out of it before the Sycamore. Then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, there we go. There's all my attacks.
Yeah. Claw Slash for 190, really good. A very impressive game out of Ryan Sabelhaus. That hand looked incredibly bleak. He just attached an energy his first turn and said, corner, I guess. I mean, that's all I can really do. Able to buy enough time to just explode and create this incredible board position. Alex was not prepared for that.
Yeah, I mean, corner just was fantastic.
Yeah, it was very...
literally that extra turn that he got to draw just for turn. There, it goes down. The energy's down. I feel better about my Sycamore right now.
Yeah.
Empty that hand out, and then to be able to find those Guzmas consistently was really good. But he thinned the deck so nicely.
He did, yeah. Very impressive restraint demonstrated by Ryan Sabelhaus. Guys, that is going to be our final match. We will have one final interview with your regional champion. We'll bring him over here and chat with him in just a second, so stay right there.